For Mark, Nevada was supposed to be a playground. A month-long work trip in the high desert, miles of open road, and the neon-soaked promise of the outskirts of Vegas. Mark was the kind of guy who didn't know a stranger, friendly, chatty, and perhaps a bit too trusting of the desert sun. On a whim, he visited the Bunny Ranch. It was a tourist thing, he told himself. A story to tell over drinks later. He spent the night talking to a girl whose name he barely caught, her face a blur of red lipstick and soft light. It was a harmless night, a human connection in a lonely state. But the desert has a way of following you home. The message from the dark. The haunting began 48 hours later. Mark was back in his hotel room, the silence of the Nevada plains pressing against the window. His phone buzzed. A Facebook notification. A request from a girl whose profile picture hit him like a physical blow. It was her, the girl from the ranch. The same auburn hair, the same mysterious smile. I couldn't stop thinking about our chat, the message read. Mark's heart raced. It was the ultimate ego boost. They started messaging, back and forth, hour after hour. The conversation moved from friendly to intimate with a speed that should have been a warning. But Mark was caught in the Vegas high. Then she sent a photo. A grainy, dimly lit nude. Then another. The digital temperature in the room spiked. Now it's your turn, she typed. Show me what I'm missing. Mark hesitated. The room felt colder. But the lure of the perfect girl was too strong. He took the photo. He hit send. And in that millisecond, the sound of the message whistle felt like a trap door snapping shut. The turn of the screw. The reply didn't come for 5 minutes. Then 10. Mark watched the 3 typing bubbles appear and disappear like a flickering heartbeat. When the message finally landed, the girl was gone. I have your friends list, Mark. I have your mother's profile. I have your boss's LinkedIn. A flurry of screenshots followed. Every person Mark cared about, every professional contact he had spent a decade building, was laid out in a grid of digital targets. If you don't send $5,000 via Bitcoin in the next 30 minutes, every single one of these people will see your face and your anatomy. I will destroy your life before you even leave Nevada. Mark's stomach dropped into a void. He tried to call her. The call was declined instantly. He tried to appeal to her humanity, reminding her of their connection at the ranch. The reply was a cold digital laugh. You didn't meet me, Mark. You met a ghost. Now, pay up or die socially. The realization. Mark called his best friend, his voice a ragged whisper. It's her, man. I know it's her. She's just desperate for money, Mark pleaded, trying to cling to the lie. But his friend's voice was like ice water. Mark, listen to me. It's not her. It was never her. You're talking to a syndicate. They use those girls' public photos because they know guys like you visit those places. It's a targeted hunt. They've been tracking your GPS. They knew where you were. The horror settled in. Mark wasn't being blackmailed by a girl he liked. He was being hunted by a faceless algorithm of extortion. He looked at the timer the blackmailer had sent. 14:59, 14:58. He realized he couldn't pay. Even if he sent the $5,000, they would just ask for $10,000. They never stop. They don't want the money. They want the leverage. The public execution. The suspense reached a breaking point. Mark sat in the dark, watching the clock tick toward his professional and personal execution. He had 2 choices: pay and be a slave forever, or burn it all down himself. With shaking hands, Mark did the most terrifying thing he'd ever done. He went to his public Facebook wall. Warning, he typed, his eyes blurred with tears of shame. My account has been compromised by an international extortion ring. You may receive an explicit, unsolicited photo of me. I am deeply sorry. Please block and report immediately. He hit post. The silence that followed was worse than the threats. His phone began to explode. Notifications from aunts, high school friends, and colleagues flooded in. Mark, what's going on? Is this a joke? Why would we get that? Mark couldn't answer. He turned his phone off and threw it across the room. He sat in the Nevada hotel, a chatty, friendly guy who was now terrified of ever speaking to another human being again. He had survived the desert, but the digital shadow would stay with him forever. Somewhere, thousands of miles away, a scammer simply deleted his folder and moved on to the next friendly guy who just wanted a connection.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe my channel.